I've never seen this woman before in my life.
Taking this new Mary thing a little too far. There's nothing in Sam I can see but you, Mary. Shame, shame, shame. Damn! Look at the swing on that back porch.
That's right, you know, if you like a big old back porch with dimples.
Well, she did light him on fire, so he's not great.
Why'd you become a cop?
My mother was murdered when I was 16. Became a cop, hoping to find out who did it.
And did you find out?
No.
What if you auditioned for a major Hollywood film at 7:30 in the morning, and by 11:30 that same day, you were sitting in a makeup chair next to Gene Hackman?
Step aside, Tommy.
I'm sorry, sir. The XO.
EXO! The ship has been hit, and I'm going in to see my captain.
That actually happened, but that's not even the craziest part of James LaShore's story. He's the guy who dropped out of the Air Force Academy, changed his name to get into Hollywood, spent 5 years as one of TV's most eligible bachelors on Las Vegas, and somehow managed to stay working consistently for over 25 years in an industry where most actors can't book their next job.
Well, it's kind of hard. Obviously, the plastic distorts the facial features, although theoretically, it is possible, depending on the composition of the plastic and the refraction of light.
But what is he doing now? That's what'll really surprise you. Born on September 21, 1970 in Los Angeles, California, James LaShore, though that wasn't always his name, grew up in Gardena and Carson. His real name? James Johnson Jr., named after his father.
And I was born James Johnson after my father. Ever see him, tell him I say hello, because it's been years.
Growing up, his grandmother called him Junebug, but the name that would stick came later, in college, when a friend started calling him Jazz because of his love for jazz music. The nickname caught on. Everyone at USC called him Jazz. But here's where it gets interesting. After high school, James had no idea what he wanted to do with his life.
Immediately, right after high school, I was kind of at a loss as to what to do, so I went and joined the military.
In the late 1980s, James enrolled at the United States Air Force Academy Preparatory School in Colorado Springs. This was serious. This was a path to becoming an officer, serving his country, and building a structured life. And James hated every second of it. Halfway through the first year, he wanted to quit, but his parents pushed him to stay. They wanted him to continue with the military. So, James stuck it out, finishing the year but knowing deep down this wasn't his path. During the USC interview, James opened up about that pivotal moment in his life.
I did finish out the year though there, and then I said, well, if I'm gonna leave this, I gotta do something with my life, what I wanna do. And it turned out, I was like, I just wanna be an actor, I wanna entertain people. And so that's when I started pursuing acting. After I left the military.
After leaving the Air Force Academy, James enrolled at El Camino Junior College and took his first drama classes.
Acting kept coming back to my mind, and so I just, chose it that year. And after that, I went to El Camino College for a year to, get some drama classes there. And I took to it pretty well, and so I just started pursuing it. So I ended up getting a theater degree at USC. And I've been pursuing it ever since.
Not because he'd been a theater kid in high school. He hadn't done anything except one play in junior high, where he played Chief No Got Dough in Castaway on Polynesia. He just knew he wanted to perform. A year later, James transferred to the University of Southern California, earning a BFA in theater from the USC School of Dramatic Arts. During his time there, he also studied abroad at the University of Kent in Canterbury, England, where he performed in productions of Hair and The Island.
I graduated from Narbonne High School in Harbor City.
And he fulfilled his lifelong dream, becoming an amateur boxer. But college wasn't just about training. James was hustling. He worked at the Lion Center, the campus gym, picking up weights between shifts. And during those shifts, he'd go upstairs and play basketball. One day, while playing ball, James met a guy who would change everything. After a few weeks of playing together, the guy told James, "You should really try to look into doing sports commercials. You can play ball." He introduced James to someone who represented him for commercials.
I met a guy playing basketball there. We just, after a few weeks of playing ball together, we were getting along, and he told me, like, yeah, you know what, you should really try to look into doing sports commercials.
That connection landed James a Reebok commercial with Sinbad, and that commercial got him into SAG, the Screen Actors Guild. But there was a problem. When James tried to join SAG as James Johnson, they told him that name was already taken. Too common. He needed a different name. So, James took his grandfather's name from his mother's side.
LeSure comes from my mother's side, my grandfather on my mother's side. May he rest in peace. Henry LeSure took his name once I joined the union. Yeah, I've even changed it legally.
Very Michael Keaton of you, his friend joked during the USC interview, referencing how Michael Keaton's real name is Michael Douglas.
With his new name and SAG card, James started auditioning. He worked with his first manager, Vince, whom he'd met through another student working an internship. Vince sent James to agent Pam Ellis, who asked him to audition in her office. She gave him 20 minutes to prepare 2 scenes, one comedic, one dramatic. James came back, performed both, and Pam said, "Yeah, I'll work with you." The hustle had officially begun. Throughout the early 1990s, James landed guest spots on shows like Mad About You.
Did you say you directed the Lance Rockwell for Mayor commercial?
You know what, actually?
Because my whole family.
Martin.
A commercial with Everyday Brothers looking fly in their Calvin Kanai.
Seinfeld.
Damn thing is jammed again.
And NYPD Blue.
I've been friends with Jinxie and Adrian a long time, a lot longer than I've been a cop.
Small roles, building his resume, learning the craft. One of those early gigs was on Martin, filmed in front of a live audience. James was so nervous and excited that he rushed through his lines without waiting for Martin Lawrence to respond. During the USC interview, James shared that embarrassing moment.
But I remember Martin was my first sitcom I ever did, and I was so nervous. I had, this was all new to me. I said my lines like boom, 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 without them even waiting for a response. And Martin was like, "Hey man, slow down. I'm supposed to say something."
But James kept grinding. And then came the call that would change everything. It was a Tuesday night. His agent called. They're replacing an actor on a Tony Scott film. Can you go down to set and audition at 7:30 tomorrow morning? The film? Crimson Tide, starring Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman.
Cassidy, I charge $1,000 an hour. That breaks down to $17 a minute. The way that I'm able to make money, still get home to Vanessa every night for quality time.
James showed up at 7:30 a.m. on set. There were 10 to 15 actors in the room. They all read the audition piece. The producers asked a few to stay. James was one of them. They brought in the director. They read again. "Okay, you can stay." And then at 11:30 that same morning, James found himself sitting in a makeup chair, right next to Gene Hackman. During the USC interview, James recalled that surreal experience.
Yeah, because we got the call on Tuesday night, and they were like, they're replacing an actor. Can you go down to set and audition? It was 7:30 in the morning. I was like, yeah, I'll go down. So it was just a little small audition piece, and they had like maybe 10 to 15 actors. We all were in a room on stage somewhere. We just read the piece, and they asked a couple of us to stay, and so dismissed a few people, and I think they brought in the director then, and we did the piece again, and they said, okay, you can stay. And then at 11:30 that same day, I sit down in the makeup chair, and there's Gene Hackman.
What the hell are we doing, Fred? I don't know about you, but I'm pissing my pants.
James had one line in the film.
"What the hell are we doing here, Fred?"
That's it. But he was in a Tony Scott film with Denzel Washington, Gene Hackman, Viggo Mortensen, James Gandolfini, and a young actor nobody knew yet. Some guy trying to hang with Ricky Schroeder. His name was Brad Pitt. Years later, James would joke about working as a background artist on a Brad Pitt film early in his career. He remembered thinking, who is this dude trying to hang with Ricky Schroeder? Ricky Schroeder keeps showing up in James's story like Forrest Gump. But Crimson Tide taught James an important lesson about Hollywood. He was so excited about being in the film that he didn't tell his college friends. They had to find out by going to the theater. "You didn't tell anyone you were in Crimson Tide?" his friend asked during the USC interview. "I think I physically stood up when I saw you on screen and yelled, 'Jazz,' at the top of my lungs." Why the secrecy? Because James had learned his lesson the hard way. Around the same time, he'd booked a role in a made-for-TV movie about O.J. Simpson. He was playing A.C. Cowlings. James told everyone, his friends, his family, "Watch it! I'm in the O.J. Simpson movie. It's gonna be on tomorrow night." His loved ones sat through 2 hours of a terrible movie, and James's scenes were completely cut out. During the USC interview, James explained why that moment changed how he approached his career.
That was one of the times where I let that stuff out. I told folks, oh, yo, I'm in the O.J. Simpson. Yo, you got to watch it. It's going to be on tomorrow night. They watched a terrible movie for 2 hours and they cut my stuff out. Oh. And so I was like, I'm never going to tell anybody anything again because who knows what's going to be in there.
Yeah. From that moment forward, James became private, secretive. He'd book jobs and keep them to himself until they aired. In 1998, everything changed. James landed his first steady gig, a lead role on the NBC sitcom For Your Love.
Slow down, you're already overextended in the community. The women's shelter, reading to the blind, you're always there for your patients and your friends.
Playing attorney Mel Ellis opposite Holly Robinson Peete.
Tamla, especially, because we got some history. We worked together years ago on a show that's still dear to my heart called For Your Love. So that's where we met and sort of chopped it up initially.
The show premiered on NBC but got canceled after just 6 episodes. Most actors would have panicked. But then the WB network picked it up. For Your Love ran for 4 years on the WB. For James, this was his introduction to 3-camera sitcoms, live studio audiences, and the rhythm of television production. It was all new territory. I remember Alan Hendrick, one of my teachers at USC, would say, acting is acting is acting, James recalled. Regardless of the medium, you stay true to what you're doing. That resonated with me. The show gave James stability, a steady paycheck, recognition, but his friends from college noticed something frustrating. I remember watching that show and being frustrated that you were the straight person, his interviewer told him during the USC conversation. You were the anchor, not the funny one. And knowing how funny you are, James laughed. You're right. Our group of friends knows the level of comedy you're capable of. I remember thinking, let him go, let him loose. But James played his role, and For Your Love opened bigger doors. In 2003, 5 years after For Your Love ended, James booked the role that would define his career.
Sam, he's scaring the other guests away.
Mike, it's a little sweat.
This is all on you, baby.
Mike Cannon, head of security at a Las Vegas casino on NBC's Las Vegas, opposite legendary actor James Caan.
Mike Cannon, head of surveillance and security.
When James got the script and learned James Caan was attached, he was in.
I mean, he's got an aura about him that's real, that it's sort of, I get where that, it comes from in the movie, and he sort of carries himself that way in real life too. But in addition, though, he's also like a teddy bear, super bright, super funny, and 1,000 stories. So he was a pleasure to work with.
When they told him Nikki Cox was going to be his love interest, he couldn't sign fast enough. I had a big crush on Nikki Cox, James admitted during the USC interview. I was really happy they hired me.
Whoa, slow your roll and let the blood rush back to your head, Sam. You were kidnapped, bound, and gagged and stuffed in a trunk.
Las Vegas ran for 5 seasons from 2003 to 2008. The show had everything: high stakes, beautiful women, celebrity cameos, and James playing the suave, competitive head of surveillance who always got the bad guys.
Possibly, it can be. No, I was enthusiastic about the opportunity because we have 2 creators of this show, Alex Howley and Terrence Paul Winter. And Terrence Paul Winter and I went to college together. So he approached me about this project. And this is somebody I've known for at least, over 20 years now. And the thought of being able to work with him on this level was really uplifting to me. And so I was happy to be a part of this.
There was even a flashback episode where they shot at a racetrack, putting James in a 1960s period costume, driving a sweet vintage ride. The show pushed boundaries with what was believable. James himself joked about it. I want to apologize to a lot of people that watched because I feel like we were pushing the envelope of what was believable on that show, James laughed during the USC interview. During those 5 years, James became one of Hollywood's most eligible bachelors. Magazine editors loved featuring the handsome 6'2" actor. GQ named him one of the next generation's leading men, and James won awards. In 2006, he earned the MIB Prism Award for Outstanding Male Actor in a TV Drama for his work on Las Vegas. That same year, James was named Most Valuable Player of the NBA Entertainment League, a Hollywood group showcasing athletic actors. It was his second time winning MVP. Remember that boxing dream? James fulfilled that too.
There's the bell for round 1. Regis comes out fast. A hard left hand from Geraldo. Another left jab.
At USC, while studying abroad in England, he trained as an amateur boxer. He also performed as Macduff in a professional theater production of Macbeth in Los Angeles. James Lesure wasn't just an actor, he was living multiple dreams at once. After Las Vegas ended in 2008, James went back to hustling, but in 2011, he landed something special, a starring role on ABC's Mr. Sunshine alongside Matthew Perry and Allison Janney.
Just so you know, I spent 9 years in the NBA. You know what that stands for? No boys allowed.
James played Alonzo Pope, a former basketball star. Art imitating life, considering James had just won MVP of the Basketball Entertainment League twice. The show was short-lived, but working with Matthew Perry, one of the biggest sitcom stars from Friends, was an experience James called a blast.
Throw taint in there a couple of times. I don't know if that's... Is that a curse word? Taint?
Well, taint the balls, taint the
Taint my business.
From 2012 to 2014, James starred on the TBS sitcom Men at Work alongside Danny Masterson.
Free coffee is the only reason people have jobs. Now I have to go to Starbucks like some animal.
The show followed 4 friends navigating work and relationships. It was the kind of ensemble comedy where the cast genuinely got along, and it showed on screen.
James earned a NAMIC Vision Award nomination for Best Performance in Comedy for the role. Then came a different kind of role. In 2015, James joined the cast of Blue Bloods, the Tom Selleck police procedural that had become a CBS staple. James played Alex McBride in a recurring role during season 5.
It means just because he believes his mother was innocent doesn't mean she is. These are the results of the DNA from the cigarette found at the scene. It matches Suzanne Taylor.
Going from sitcoms to procedural drama showed James's range. He could do comedy, he could do drama, he could do both. In 2016, James tested twice for a role that would bring him back to network television. ABC was adapting the classic John Candy film Uncle Buck into a series, and they wanted James for the lead.
I knew I smelled fabric softener. Baby, it's supposed to be getting ready to go to the airport, not refolding towels that Irina already folded.
The first test went well. Then there was a technical issue with the camera. They asked James to come back a week later and test again. Initially, I told my manager, no, I have already tested. They should know by now, James recalled during the USC interview. But he talked me into going in again. I'm glad I did because I ended up working on it and enjoying the experience. James starred opposite Mike Epps and Nia Long. The show lasted 1 season, but it gave James another network lead under his belt. From 2017 to 2018, James appeared on Bravo's Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce as a baseball coach during seasons 3, 4, and 5. It was a departure from his usual roles, a mature, sophisticated drama about women navigating divorce in their 40s and 50s.
Hey, 1-5, get your gear on. You catch your next inning. 2-8 here needs a timeout to think about what just happened out there.
In 2018 alone, James had recurring roles on 2 different shows. On NBC's Good Girls, the hit crime dramedy with Christina Hendricks, Retta and Mae Whitman, James played an FBI agent.
Now you are. What's your problem, man? Me, no problem. But you might have one coming home smelling like cop coffee.
On CBS's Salvation, he was Congressman Trey Thomason, navigating political intrigue as an asteroid threatens Earth.
Can I be frank, Mr. President? You talk a good game. Got the smile, that fancy accent. But at the end of the day, you're just another billionaire with an agenda none of us can quite figure out.
2 completely different shows, 2 completely different roles, same year. In 2019, James joined the cast of HBO's Divorce for its 3rd and final season. He played Henry, the boyfriend of Sarah Jessica Parker's character.
Why don't you want to get married again?
Because I did it. It didn't work out, so now I don't ever have to do it again.
Working on an HBO show with Sarah Jessica Parker from Sex and the City was another level entirely. It was a blast, man, working with those cats. James said during the USC interview about his various projects. We all got along, we enjoyed each other, we made each other laugh. In 2021, James landed a main role in Rebel.
Your mother left me because I took a job practicing corporate law. She taught you to think in black and white, and there's value in that. But if you're ready, I'm ready to teach you a whole lot more about shades of gray.
A legal drama inspired by the life of Aaron Brockovich, starring Katie Sagal. The show came from the creator of Grey's Anatomy, Chris Duvernov. It was another lead role, Another network show, another chance to showcase his range. The show was canceled after one season, but James had already moved on to the next thing. In recent years, James has appeared on The Rookie: Feds, the spinoff of ABC's hit police procedural.
I'm not trying to get you to quit, I'm trying to help you. And I need you to understand that it's okay not to know something. You've never done this job before, and you're here to learn how. Because Garza clearly hates me.
He's also been on Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty, the HBO series about the 1980s Lakers, starring John C. Reilly and Adrian Brody.
Takes two to tango. We choose them, but they choose us too. You think she'd be wanting your ass so bad if nobody was chasing it?
And he continues booking steady work. As of 2025, James Lesser is 54 years old, standing tall at 6 feet 2 inches. His estimated net worth ranges between $4 million and $6 million accumulated through decades of consistent television work. He's currently single and has no children as far as we know. Unlike many celebrities, James maintains an extremely low social media presence. Hence, he's a very private person. He's primarily on Twitter for promotion, but doesn't use Instagram or other platforms. My representation would like me to do a lot more of it, James said during the USC interview. I am reluctant to do it.
In an age where celebrities overshare everything, James remains private, mysterious, classy. He avoids controversy and sensational headlines, preferring to let his work speak for itself. I just keep stuff to myself for the most part, James explained during the USC interview. Is it superstition? No, I just keep it to myself. That privacy has earned him respect from fans and industry peers alike. But James isn't selfish with his platform. He's the recipient of Celebrity Honoree and Distinguished Support Awards from the Sickle Cell Foundation. He's used his visibility to raise awareness for causes he believes in. James Lesser is truly a man that believes in putting himself into the work and the causes he believes in, Monarch magazine wrote about him. Behind the scenes, James still hustles. He still auditions, and he's had some wild experiences. During the USC interview, he shared a story about auditioning for a well-known casting director he was excited to meet. What happened next was completely unexpected.
I went in an audition one time. This casting director, a well-known one as well. I'm reading with her assistant, but I was really excited to meet this casting director. She's in the room, her assistant's right there, and I start doing my piece, and she starts to nurse her child as I'm doing the piece. To give me one of these suits. As soon as I get there, it's the worst uniform you can imagine. I was like, wait a minute, I've been duped.
That's the reality of the industry. Even after 25 plus years of consistent work, James still deals with the absurdity of auditions. Every time you walk in a room, it always gets a little warmer, James joked during the USC interview. That's what my mom always says. But he's also honest about the fear every actor faces. I have way more days where there's no work than days that there have been work, James admitted during the USC interview. I am extremely blessed. But I know the reality of it. It's very peaks and valleys. Even with his success, James experiences the same anxiety every actor does between jobs. I'm wondering if the next one will come. The fear that maybe this time the phone won't ring. The only stability is not working, James joked. We rely on unemployment, but the phone keeps ringing. 25 years after For Your Love, James Lesser is still working, still booking roles, still showing up. He's done over 60 movies and TV series. All you have to do is take a look at IMDb. And through it all, he's remained grounded, professional, private, consistent. From the kid who hated the Air Force Academy to the guy who changed his name to chase his dreams, James Lesser carved out a career entirely his own. From network TV to streaming platforms, James adapts, evolves, keeps working, and he's not done yet.